I'm Benjamin Hunting with Auto by Tel, and I'm here today with a 2016 Land Rover Range Rover Sport SVR. Those three little letters at the end of that name, probably not that familiar to you. And they come with a second trio of letters that are also new from Land Rover, SVO, Special Vehicle Operations, which is the division within Land Rover that designed this crazy beast that sits to my left. What exactly is the Land Rover Range Rover Sport SVR meant to accomplish? In an ideal world, you'd have a truck like this that can go on-road, off-road, and on the track without breaking a sweat. In many ways, Land Rover's managed to accomplish that with this particular vehicle. Under the hood, you have a 550 horsepower version of the 510 horsepower supercharged V8 that comes with a regular Range Rover Sport. But underneath the skin, you have a much more aggressive suspension tuning. You have a terrain response system that has been retuned as well, meaning that you get a dynamic mode that gives you track capabilities, including a torque vectoring rear end that goes with the locking rear differential and a locking center differential. And you still have the air suspension system that allows you to jack the truck up or slam it down. Jacking the truck up is what you want to do if you're taking it off-road, and that's what we did here at Monticello Motor Club, which is where we were also on the track. The truck drove very much like the regular Range Rover Sport in an off-road scenario, which means it was virtually unstoppable. Of course, we didn't test the very limits of a Land Rover. It's actually quite difficult to do that unless you have a stone wall or a moat or a castle, all of which Land Rover does have waiting for you. There are many Land Rover experiences scattered throughout the world, but I was still able to get a very strong impression of this vehicle's capability. You'll notice that it has extra aero, more of an aggressive look as well along the sides and the front. That doesn't interfere with the approach angles. This vehicle is as capable as the regular Range Rover Sport in almost every situation, and on the track it's even more capable. In fact, in a track situation, this vehicle feels a lot more lively than some of its competitors, like the BMW X6M or X5M, for example. Unlike those SUVs, which are so laden with computer-generated calculations controlling every aspect of the vehicle's traction and steering that it feels almost like you're driving a video game, the Range Rover Sport SVR actually had a lively character to the chassis that was kind of unusual to encounter in any kind of truck, let alone one that's as large as this one. That's a nice thing to have when you want to have fun on a track. It can lead to some hair-raising moments, but in reality, if all you wanted was to drive your living room at 200 miles an hour, well, there are other options. If you want to drive a Land Rover really fast on the track, the SVR is your best bet. Something else that's nice about the Land Rover Range Rover Sport SVR is that it rides and drives very much like the regular Sport, which is to say it's incredibly comfortable. You're definitely going to feel some additional suspension stiffness over bumps, but the general ride and handling is very tight, buttoned down, and befitting of a luxury SUV. The interior is also incredibly well appointed. Every touch surface is wrapped in leather. It has very unique seats, front and rear, which have a sporty performance with slots for your racing belts, although I don't know who needs racing belts in the back seat of an SUV. If you do need them, they're there. And the striking two-tone light and dark color schemes that come with the SVR look great no matter what you're doing with it, whether you're on the track or just heading out to get some groceries. I know that only 1 or 2% of Land Rover owners ever go off-road, and I assume an even smaller percentage are going to be taking this car to the track. But if you want to do both, or at least appear like you can do both, then this is the Land Rover for you. In fact, this is the thin point of the wedge for Land Rover, which is trying to expand the SVR name across Jaguar vehicles as well, and we'll also see additional Land Rover SUVs branded as SVR for their high-performance capabilities. The SVR is a smart move for a company that is already very niche. Being able to further develop that niche in a high-performance direction is going to bring further sales, but more importantly, profitability. Being able to take a name like Land Rover that stands for luxury and all-terrain capability and advance it into the performance segment is not going to be easy, but with vehicles like the Range Rover Sport SVR leading the way, it's not going to take very long before every automaker, regardless of which continent it's located on, starts to sit up and take notice.